see you back at the Motorfest.
Says here this one doesn't like her boss. Perfect. She'll talk easy.
Good, let's head towards Manawa. Damn it. Never mind. See you there.
Babe, I'm rocking a Custo beast of a car. What's that you got? A lawnmower?
Alright guys, this is Operation Hula. Engage.
Thanks out. Damage right here.
us, punk. You're staying with us, punk.
Babe, he might be the chief of our crew, but he's not that interesting. Trust me, I know.
Resuming progression on the playlist. Here we go for the first action list. Heading for Central Maui. Perform the actions requested and beat the time already set by the Ace, the Joker and the Queen. Those specialist drivers Betty was telling you about.
My name is Michele Pignatti Morano. I am the director of the Ferrari Museums.
This is Ferrari Supercars, a partnership with the Enzo Ferrari Museum of Modena. Another activity awaits.
There's a particular kind of Ferrari we're going to speak a lot about today. Ferrari Supercars. The car you're about to drive in this opening event is none other than the first Ferrari in the supercar bloodline, the Ferrari GTO.
The first supercars that we can define is the GTO. GTO was very simple. If we just start from the name, it was Gran Turismo Omologato. The definition of supercars is very simple. It's the top expression of that period in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car of that period. People call it the 288 GTO, but that is not the correct definition. The definition for that car is the GTO. Punto.
Term that refers to milestones in motoring history. All supercars are limited series and the product of Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, aiming to make every new model the best car of its time. That means that every new addition to the lineage is the embodiment of leading-edge research that sets the standard for cars worldwide. supercars on this adventure. But for now, just enjoy the collector's piece that is the Gran Turismo Omologato. Or, like Mr. Pignati Morano said, simply GTO. This car is, in essence, a special version of another iconic Ferrari, the 308 GTS. And, as intended, it is one of the fastest street-legal production cars of its time. Interesting fact from my archives. Three-time racing world champion Niki Lauda, one of the few GTOs produced. A gift from Enzo Ferrari himself. Beautiful sight. Takes me back to the Legacy Tour Ferrari organized back in 2024. A GTO tribute tour set in the stunning surroundings of the Italian Dolomites. Organized exactly 40 years after Ferrari introduced the supercar at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show. But enough from me. Just listen to the car you're driving. She'll tell you her story herself. Ferrari, my young friend. A world where legends live among us to tell their stories loud and clear. Delighted with that introduction. We may now head towards the northern part of the bay to make the acquaintance of the next two supercars in our Ferrari lineup. You heard me right. The next event will feature not one, but two cars for you to drive. On one hand, the inspired and inspiring Ferrari F40. And on the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50. Mr. Pignati Morano will start with a few words, then I'll take over. The Ferrari F50, a bridge between road and racetrack.
The F50 is a car that is made to celebrate the 50 years of the company. It's a car which is basically very much taking the technology of Formula One to the road. It's basically a
Let me tell you more about the Ferrari F50. Often thought of together, the F40 and F50 are yet very different cars, each one fascinating in its own individual way. It's true they bear some similar design elements and, of course, a naming convention. F for Ferrari, and 50 for the prancing horse's 50th birthday, just like the F40 a decade earlier. But the similarities stop right there, because these two siblings are defiantly individual. The F50 is a mechanical symphonia. No turbocharged V8 here. The F50's core is a normally aspirated V12 that came straight from a Formula One. Then there's the bodywork. Composite materials, like the monocoque carbon fiber chassis shaped to aerodynamic perfection. Again, all coming from the racing world. Extreme machine. Bold, innovative, intimidating. And that sound. It was impressive back then. It still is today. And the car's voice sounds even better from inside. I could ramble on about this car forever, but I'll let it speak for itself now. This was the F50, a sports car that screams performance and racing spirit with every fiber of its being. expected at the Hanauma racetrack. But first, let's get there with panache. Another special car is waiting for you. Two of the 20th century's most popular Ferraris. But when it comes to beloved machines from the 80s and 90s, there's another red horse that undoubtedly comes to mind. The unmistakable pop culture icon, the Ferrari Testarossa.
When you ask people which is one of the most iconic cars that people remember, I think the Testarossa is definitely among these cars here.
Testarossa was quite the celebrity in her time. Movies, TV shows, magazines, and even video games, the Testarossa was everywhere, appealing to kids and adults alike. With its angular design, minimalistic lines, and signature side air intakes, this car was a poster child for aerodynamics. To be precise, the exact model Motorfest has put in your hands is the 1991 re-engineered version of the Testarossa, introduced as the 512TR, featuring a redesigned interior and a refined exterior to improve its already spectacular lines. looks like you're getting the perfect stretches of road between Maui and Oahu to take the whole measure of it. A breath of fresh air and nostalgia. It's time for you to get a real taste of Ferrari's racing DNA. The drive that gave birth to the supercar bloodline. And for this racing-themed experience, I went again through my archives to select not just one, but two vehicles for you to drive. One after the other. Two machines from two different eras, for two different racing experiences.
Scuderia Ferrari in our history is extreme.
The Scuderia is what started it all. To understand what fuels the creation of every Ferrari ever made, especially the supercars, the racetrack is an indispensable stop. Racing cars were Enzo Ferrari's passion and obsession. This is what led him to found a Scuderia in 1929, which has played a major role in racing history. And born from this racing division, Ferrari as a brand and factory of excellence was created a few years later. Racing is what led Ferrari to create cars, and eventually supercars. Without his racing spirit and passion, there would be no Ferraris as we know them. Ferrari 365 GTB4 is the perfect vehicle for you to experience Ferrari racing as it felt back in the 70s. Before switching for a car about 45 years its junior. For this second lap, you'll be driving the FXXK. This car is quite peculiar. Essentially a laboratory-enhanced version of La Ferrari, a supercar you'll get to meet later on. It didn't compete, per se, but this insanely powerful car was used for years as an R&D test car, allowing Ferrari to collect precious data to ultimately improve their next official racing cars, as well as the supercars. Ferrari so extreme that it can never be driven on the road, nor qualify for any kind of official competition. But it's still a racing machine through and through. More than a car, the FXXK is an experiment for its makers and an experience for its drivers. Ferrari's glorious racetrack heritage, a heritage in which supercars are inextricably tied up. Race driver, a moment I'll be thrilled to relate and store in my archives. Now, let's get our focus back to our supercar lineup. With the GTO, the F40, and the F50, we've covered all the Ferrari supercars born in the 20th century. We'll now get to talk about and drive the more recent 21st century supercars. Well, I'll talk, you'll drive. Let's get back to Maui. Entry in our lineup and first supercar of the 2000s is a direct tribute to the Commendatore Enzo Ferrari. You guessed it. We're letting you get your hands on the 2002 Ferrari Enzo. Starting with a few words from our guest, Michele Pignati Marano.
What was the next name? The name was Enzo. Enzo Ferrari, I mean. Fourth in the supercar bloodline, was just like her sisters before her, born from a strong desire to push supercars even further. As the first Ferrari of the century, and with a Scuderia on top of the racing world, the Enzo was meant to strike hard and set new standards for Ferrari cars, or rather, for the whole sports car industry. With the will to design, once more, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, faster on the track but more civilized on the road, Ferrari went all out. And my word, did they deliver.
multiple air intakes and an F1-inspired nose gives this car her aggressive, decisive, and impressive looks, while the engine is nothing short of engineering mastery, as you'd expect. Add to that better handling, better carbon brakes, and electronics that make the car as reliable on an everyday drive as it is savage on the racetrack. The latest 21st century tech, alongside the legendary Ferrari Fury. Nothing short of a new performance benchmark. Her name alone shows how confident Ferrari was about this car. Owning one of the 399 plus one Ferrari Enzos in existence is like owning a piece of car history. Or, dare I say, like owning a piece of art. Luxury and exclusivity. This is Enzo Ferrari's legacy. After the beautiful tribute that was the Ferrari Enzo, the world had to wait more than 10 years to encounter a new Ferrari supercar. But eventually, the next generation arrived, and once again, caught everybody off guard. I'm talking about a car named La Ferrari, the Ferrari in English, which is currently waiting for you north of Maui. I'll let you drive there. Then we'll talk some more.
Seen them all.
We're coming for you, Black Eyes. Time to run.
It's Blue Eyes, son.
doing so bad yourself, girl.
I'm not comfortable telling you anything, but you won, and I promised, so... What do you want to know about the chief?